Had to get my coffee. All right, y'all. Y'all looking for your soulmate? Maybe you need some help doing it. Okay, so I'm gonna do a review on Escaping Twin Flames. It's on Netflix right now. There will be spoilers. Um, it's a documentary, and it is it's eye opening. Um, we're gonna go through the trailer real quick so you can see it. I will have to admit, I was impressed. And it's a little scary. It's really scary on, I guess, how quickly or how easily people can be manipulated on any level, whether it's just using spirituality or anything. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get to the trailer.
He took my child. He twisted her memories, her mind. Haven't seen her in over 3 years.
Most of this great wealth comes directly from teaching others how to have beautiful, healthy, loving, romantic relationships.
I thought that everything in my life was going good, but I was just missing my true love.
You too can have harmonious union.
I found people that I can relate to and I can trust.
We had 38,000 people in the group.
38,000.
This is the story of falling in love.
Okay, so just kind of give you guys a kind of a brief overview. I forget the guy's name, but he has a Facebook group. This group is still going on. A bunch of people who joined this particular group or cult, they've made this documentary, and I like documentaries where people get exposed. But it's one of my addictions. But it was all based upon helping people find their twin flame, and I want to talk about that. And I've spoken about it before about twin flame relationships, and we'll go into a little depth after the trailer. But that's the hook because everybody wants to find love, and it sounds good, but it depends on how much money you're spending to find this twin flame.
You're saying things like, are you ready for the ultimate love of your life?
What Jeff and Shalia do has nothing to do with love. It's control.
You're getting some prime ass tea. None of it matters because you're his twin flame, and
And what do you notice about the majority of his followers? Just putting it out there. What do you notice similar?
this is your union.
Jeff taught us to pursue our twin flames at all costs.
When I spoke up about how I was feeling, I got shunned by Jeff and Shalia.
Liar!
Andrew's lying. Andrew's lying.
Liar. You're either feminine at your core or masculine at your core.
I questioned Jeff, and his reply was, how dare you question your God?
I guess like
Stop talking, please.
Oh, couldn't have been a sister. He did have one sister up in that group, but she obviously she had a hard time finding her twin flame. Anywho,
Let the man speak. The image of Christ was actually me, the second coming, not Jesus, the first coming. It's insane what I ask of you for you to have my divine light. And
why is it always some hairy dude who thinks he's Jesus? Uh, that looks like he just needs to wash his hair. They think,
yet you get it, do you not?
How much power have I given to these people?
Dissolve the illusion and recognize that you're actually a man.
I felt like I didn't recognize myself.
We were forced to change
Yeah.
so much about ourselves.
he started trying to convince people that they were transgender.
I just started crying because I felt like that was going to be our last conversation.
He already took my daughter.
Look at there. Look at there.
If anybody should be scared, it should be him.
I will never stop fighting for my sister to come home.
Man, the tea is now being spilled.
Okay. So wait, I think yeah, it's on Netflix right now. If you haven't seen it, go right now, watch it, and then come back to this video because I am about to do some spoilers on you guys. Okay. All right. So the whole thing is about this cult. We're gonna call it a cult because that's what it is. About how to find your twin flame. It's so mostly women were in this group. and he's giving all this stuff, all these affirmations you need to do to call in your twin flame, and if you guys aren't working out the affirmations you need to do. In some retrospect, when I'm thinking about it, some of the things he was saying was pretty legit, and that's usually how this guy's a salesman. First, he was selling cures to cancer, and that didn't work out. But he's a pure salesman, but he's using spirituality to get there. And then you see a lot of them. I'm not gonna name any names, but you see some of them on YouTube. And he started selling this idea of finding your twin flame through the group and attracting the twin flame, your twin flame, to the group. Uh, and if you guys have watched any of my videos about spirituality and twin flames, I say it time and time again. When it comes to your soulmate, when it comes to your twin flame, those aren't necessarily supposed to be your lovers. Okay. And let's just get the ground thing. The twin flame is your soul, it's who you are. And yes, there's going to be a high attraction to that person. And sometimes twin flames can end up being friends. Sometimes twin flames become lovers or just an acquaintance that you just know like off the bat. But because of the timeline paradox, twin flames are usually on a whole different spiritual level than you. Sometimes they are a younger version of yourself spiritually. Like your soul is like you when we have a twin flame, it is basically your soul. And I have a video on it. So you can go and search that. Um, but it is basically your soul that has returned to the timeline to now. But it's in a it's in a different state. So your twin flame or your soul, your twin soul could either be more evolved than you or it could be less evolved than you. And yeah, you can attract yourself to yourself. But I've said time and time again, having a twin flame relationship is hard. It is super hard. They make it seem like it was just super easy to do. Now, mind you, I think some of these people did attract their twin flame, and some of these people couldn't because your twin flame doesn't necessarily live in the same city. They may be living their life somewhere completely different. And if this person has a truly gift to actually see that, that's fine. I'm not saying he doesn't have a spiritual gift because some of the stuff he was the knowledge he was kicking on this documentary was pretty on point. I don't believe in negative affirmations because you're just gonna manifest more negative stuff. You have to watch the documentary to get what I'm talking about. But he was talking about something called mirroring. I don't know why I can't get my words out. Something about mirroring. So instead of this person causes me problems, or this person is not listening to me, you have to say I'm causing my problems. I'm not listening. It's so you basically reflect all the negativity back on yourself. Well, what's that going to do? That's just going to manifest more of that negativity within yourself. And you see this throughout the documentary because he got these people uh, using the spiritual practice of mirroring, right? That's the word. And what they're doing, they're just everything that they're upset about, they put it back on themselves. What is that going to do? You want to manifest stuff that you don't see yet. You don't want to manifest the negative, especially on yourself. That's neither here or there. So he's got these people calling in their twin flames, supposedly to the group. And he didn't have that many men. And that's a red flag number 2. If you're in any type of spiritual group and it's just pretty dominated either by women or just men, unless they're calling for that in the group, like sometimes I'm a part of some men's spiritual groups, that's fine. And sometimes women need their own spiritual groups, that's fine. But if you have a group that's supposed to be open to everybody, or you go into a church and it ain't nothing but women there, the men ain't there, or it's a spiritual group, but it's nothing but men, no women, guess who's going to be the target? I wouldn't trust it because there needs to be a balance. And when you see the balance, then you're like, okay. But this, anyways, he's running this spiritual twin flame group. And actually, I had a friend who joined the group on Facebook just to troll them. She got blocked, but she wanted to see. And they're trying to convince people this stuff ain't free. These people have to pay for courses, they have to pay for classes, they have to pay for books. It sounded a lot like Scientology. It really did. They had to pay for all of these things just so that they could get the knowledge of how to find your twin flame and keep your twin flame. But with a lot of these people, they either he either had them chasing the wrong people or trying to connect with the wrong people or stalking people because he said that's your twin flame, you're supposed to be with them. No, you're not. If you have a relationship with the twin flame, that's fine. Both of y'all will know it. It won't be just one sided. You'll just have that thing about it. But yeah, they're hard because, like I said, one person may be more evolved than the other. You guys are on different levels, and most of the time, it ain't gonna work out because you guys are on two different paths of self discovery and soul missions. And our mission here on in this reality is not to reconnect with ourselves or just stick with my soul mate and my soul family and my soul group, which is what he was talking about. He's like, find your soul family and just that's the only people you need to talk to. No, our purpose here, our purpose here is to use the light that we've been given, to use our gifts and abilities to not only learn our lessons what we're supposed to learn, but also try to make this world a better place. And sometimes that means dealing with people who aren't quite the same, who may be lost in the darkness. Okay, that's your soul mission is to make the world a better place. Okay, so when he was, it got really cultish when he started telling people, your family doesn't support you, we're your family now, and all that stuff. Every cult starts like that. I think I was watching the Teal Swan documentary too, and it was kind of similar to that. That's why I was like, I like Teal Swan. She does some good, kicks some good knowledge, but it gets a little cultish if they're trying to separate you from your family. So that would be red flag number 3. If you find yourself a part of a spiritual group and they're saying, go ahead and separate yourself from your family, we're your family. Trust and believe it's a cult because your family is your support system. Even if you have some negative family members who don't love you or treated you bad or abused you, remember you're here for a reason. And you might be that healing mechanism for them. And you need to deal with your first birth family first because you were born in that family for a reason. And you may be the black sheep of that family, but that doesn't mean like, okay, I'm going to cut off everybody that I don't agree with or who doesn't believe in the stuff I don't believe in. Trust and believe. I got a lot of family members who don't believe everything I believe in. That's what I'm always talking about, tolerance. Love, unconditional love is about tolerance. When we don't have the same ideas, we still love our family members, okay? So there's that. But with this dude would give you like a grain of truth and then go totally left field. As long as he had control over you and you were buying the next course, you were buying the next product. Uh, he was marrying off people. He had this one girl and she was real young, and married her off to this one dude who was like, he didn't have no job. He was a loser. And I'm not saying that's not her twin flame. Could be, but he could be once again a less evolved version of her, right? So maybe she wants more spirituality. He's not quite there yet. Then you're getting with a less evolved version of yourself, and it's not going to work out. But she felt like she was forced to kind of stay in that relationship. So if they're the same soul, and let's say he dies and reincarnates, or she dies and reincarnates, whichever one, and comes back as the next person, they're going to have trust issues, in which he did. He had trust issues. She had trust issues. And then they had to realize that, okay, well, he left her. But she had to kind of restart her life. Like a lot of her 20s was wasted in this cult. Um, Ultimately, I found it very informative about how, because it was basically like a multi-level marketing spiritual scam group. And I mean, I'm not a part of the group. I wouldn't know, but just watching the documentary, and I know documentaries can be kind of swayed to whatever. But if they're giving you all these red flags, and it doesn't have to be this group. It could be your church. It could be the government, because some of the methods that he was using you got to think about it. It's kind of like how the federal government kind of just takes your money and says, hey, you know, here's the American dream. You can have all this American dream if you just keep on doing what we tell you to do. And you keep on supporting us and give us that tax money. He wasn't taxing them, but basically he was taxing their life away through these courses and books that he was offering. And then he started selling a meal plan. Everybody was gaining weight. And then when we was talking about the divine masculine, it was over. He started convincing people that they were transgender. He had mostly women. Most of the men had left. I think he had maybe one or two. So there was not enough men in the group to match with women in the group. He started talking about the divine masculine and divine feminine, and talking about how we all have parts of that, but sometimes we can have the opposite energy, which is true. There are women who have very masculine energy. Does that mean that they are men? No. Sex and gender, we know, are two different things. Now, on a spiritual level, sex is the physical manifestation of your primary gender. Okay. So even though you have a masculine woman, she will never be more masculine than a masculine man. She'll just be a masculine woman. Her sex is feminine, but she may give out a masculine energy. Maybe she likes to run things. You can have feminine men, men who even a feminine man. Uh, it will balance out if he was with a masculine woman. Because he may be more passive, he doesn't want to run things. And I've seen couples like that. Are they gay? Nope. I just see men who are really more quiet. They're like, more laid back, more like whatever. And the women are like, go, go, go. I need this done. I need this done. And you're like, yes, yes, dear. And we've seen those couples before. And then you have your masculine men with feminine women who want to be taken care of. But yeah, when you have two masculine energies, they're gonna butt heads. When you have two feminine energies, nothing happens. They just stay friends. Well, yeah, they're mostly just friends. But you do need to have opposite energy. But even in homosexual relationships and heterosexual relationships, you're gonna have a masculine and feminine dichotomy. Period. You're always gonna be someone who's a little bit more passive than the other. And I've seen it constantly in reality, in my reality. But this wasn't even about homosexuality. He was convincing these women that just a few of them that they, because of their masculine energy, that they should go ahead and be transgender. He told them go ahead, cut their hair, uh, change their name. He commanded that. They didn't make these decisions on their own, and that's what a cult leader will do. He'll start telling you what to do and who you need to be with. Had a similar experiences when I was a little kid. Not for me, but I saw my mom in a church where the pastor was like little overdoing things when it came to how you run your life, what you wear, who you need to be with, who you need to marry. We see this in the church like constantly, but a lot of churches, a lot of small churches, even big churches are cults. Let's be real, okay? But he was doing the same thing. And a matter of fact, he took his group and made it a church so he wouldn't have to have yeah, he wanted tax write-off, so he made a religion. That would have been red flag number 4. Time to go. Anywho, it was so much spiritual stuff that he was putting out that only I guess you could go to him for. But these are things that's what I'm saying. When you're doing your spiritual journey, it shouldn't be just one person saying these things. Like when I tell you something spiritual, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm getting this from the 12 universal laws. You can study that on your own on the internet. You ain't gotta pay me for that. It's great if you subscribe to my videos because I'm gonna talk about it either way. And I'm gonna find videos like this that talk about it. Uh, but I just want to warn you guys and let you know that you should watch this documentary. It will educate you on the mind games that are being played, not just in the spiritual community, but there was another one that I found, and I'll review that one too. There was another one about how um, people who want power over a group of people, the mind games that they play, how they get people to need them. Usually there's a weakness of the soul, something that you're looking for, and they say, "Well, we can provide that." And you know what most people want that I've found with groups like this? Most people just want love. They want love and attention, and they'll give you that love. They'll love bomb you, and then they'll take it away. And then you'll be like, what did I do wrong? What can I do to make it better? And boom, they got you. They got you. I'm telling you. And I have in my own personal life in my 20s, I've come across some cults. It's just that, I guess I'm too much of a questioner. You know, I'm I'm a pretty sensitive guy and I'm emotional, but don't be just cussing me out. You see how many times he was cussing people out? You just don't be just cussing me out. We're gonna have some problems. We're gonna have some problems. Anyways, I just want to talk about this. I'll put the trailer in the description so you guys can check it out. Go to Netflix and watch the documentary and come back. Come back and leave me a comment on what you thought about it. And remember to make your reality happen because if you don't do it, then who will? Talk to you guys later.